And we are back with Christopher Cook from Alliance Insurance Services answering your insurance-related questions. You can always text the number that's there at the bottom of the screen, 336-379-5775. All right, so we just did this story about how car insurance is going up, and we kind of knew that car insurance was going up. Are you seeing anything more than what we had discussed before?
No, I'm not. Our state, our Department of Insurance, and the North Carolina Department of Insurance Commissioner, they regulate liability insurance rates, and those are negotiated with carriers that participate in our state, and that's all been worked out over the last little while.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about just insurance for cars, like on the whole, because a lot of times people are like, do I need this? Do I not need this? Liability coverage. What does it cover? And yes, it is required.
Yes, liability insurance, I like to say, covers what you do to someone else. You have an automobile accident, they are hurt. Your liability insurance policy pays for those injuries. You have liability insurance and you mess up someone's car or someone else's property, even if it's not a car, then the liability insurance pays for those damages up to the limit. In our state, interesting fact, today you have to have $30,000 of liability coverage to pay for the injuries that you do to another party. If I were to rear end you, Tanya, I have to have at least $30,000 of coverage to pay for your medical bills. In January, that's going up, thankfully, to a lot of insurance professionals' opinions, to $50,000. So we've raised the limits beginning next year to be more commensurate with what's going on in the marketplace.
Of course, that might raise our rate.
It is going to raise the rates a little bit. Liability insurance isn't a super expensive. Well, I guess that's relative, right? It will be a minimal increase, but could raise it some, yes.
And that is something because the insurance companies have said, hey, it needs to be at this standard, and so everybody's going to have to do that?
Every state in the union, if you will, has a minimum threshold, what you have to have in order to be legal to drive, because these are public roads. The legislature wants to make sure that if you're using public roads, you are responsible and able to take care of any injuries you cause. So yeah, the legislature passed an approval on that a few months ago.
Okay, gotcha. So all of the liability is going to be up to 50,000, you said, or 55?
50.
50. Okay. All right. We got a question here. If you believe your insurance company is not handling your claim appropriately and timely, what do you do to help move it forward?
Communicate. The most important thing any of us do in life is communicate. Communicate that directly to your adjuster. If you need assistance, communicate that with your agent. If neither of those folks are helping, I mentioned the Department of Insurance earlier. Department of Insurance has a consumer advocacy arm, and they do a great job. But communicate.
Okay. This person says, if you've never had an accident or a ticket, why won't the insurance company give you a lower rate, especially if you're a senior citizen?
I've answered this a few different ways over the years of our time together. Insurance is math. To me, the most simple fact is insurance is math. And so as your risk goes up or down, your rate goes up or down. And while this person sounds like a very safe driver with lots of years of experience, if they happen to make a mistake, stuff is expensive to fix now. And so the rate, should you make a mistake, is commensurate to what your damages would be.
So there has been some talk about how to lower your car insurance bill, some of which is taking an online course, letting them monitor your driving, that kind of thing.
Yeah, the driving apps that are out there are earning folks up to 30, even 40% discounts. Paying the bill in full for the year is a lot of times a really big discount. We've talked about in the past that credit can be a driver. Having a good quality credit score can be a driver of lower insurance premiums, interestingly. So there's a lot of things you can do to drive your rates down as well.
All right, this one, does hit and run accidents raise your insurance?
Ooh,
like someone hit you, right, and took off?
I hate the answer to this question because I don't think it's fair. However, the answer is yes.
Because someone hit you and now your insurance is having to pay.
You have to file that on a collision claim because there's no one else to blame.
Except that
And
there is.
but we don't know who they are. And if over and over again you didn't charge people for not at fault hit and run accidents, how many accidents would actually have another party to blame?
Okay. What happens if you have like dash cam video and it shows that? Would that help your case any?
It would help your case in convincing me, but it may be difficult to prove it to the computer algorithm that helps develop your rate.
Gotcha. Okay.